Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kim and I hope you're all doing well. Tonight's video is going to show a couple of produce hauls that I did in this last part of August, a couple of small grocery hauls, some things that I thrifted, and maybe there'll be some other things in there. So just to make a nice and helpful or possibly just entertaining video. I hope you're all doing well out there and staying safe on this Labor Day weekend. Until next week, take care. Okay, here are a few things that I picked up at Walmart today. It is August 30th, so we're nearing the end of August and I've got about 2 weeks left to go with the groceries that I purchased that I revealed in the previous 4 videos that I have up. So dated back, I think that I released all the videos the week of, I want to say August 16th or 22nd. I'll have it in the show notes and I'll have a card that directs you to one of the last ones. And so I had $108 left over in the budget, so I went to Walmart today because the only thing that we needed was bananas, and I decided to pick up a few pantry items and then also see what the Halloween candy was selling for, because we do have a couple of children that live in the building now, and so just in case, you know, I buy it every year because you just never know. I don't know if I ever updated last year, but I did buy 2 big bags of candy, and my husband discovered a coworker was having some type of church doing, so we gave him 1 whole bag, and then in the end we did have 2 trick-or-treaters that came, and then we ate whatever candy that was left that we actually liked, and then he just took the rest to work for coworkers. So it went to good places and stuff like that, but this year we have 2 children that actually live in the building, so we want to have things on hand, and you know, we try as much to get something that if no one shows up, we eat it because we would never waste it. But then, you know, they don't really make mixes that have everything that you like in it. So when that happens, my husband just takes it to work. So it never goes to waste. So some of the first things that I wanted to get for the baking season, I want to give it a good start, early start this year, instead of waiting until we're in Thanksgiving and decide what kind of cookies or whatever I'm going to make. So for my birthday, I always want pumpkin bars. I used to buy them all the time from a bakery, I mean just like clockwork, and loved it, but lately the bakery, the bars are just getting smaller and smaller and smaller and more preservative ingredients in it, where I can make some with Libby pumpkin and my own cream cheese frosting, and I can have as big a pumpkin bar as I want for my birthday, and it cost me, you know, $5 or less, where we were paying $12 to $15 for a container of pumpkin bars before. So yeah, so I've got 1 can of Libby pumpkin for my pumpkin bars and 1 for one of our first pumpkin pies of the season, and this is the type of pumpkin I prefer. I've used pumpkins out of the field and stuff like that, pie pumpkins, but I just prefer Libby's. Got some carnation milk that goes with it, some olive oil. I need it as a I have an essential oil that I'm going to use, and you have to have a carrier oil, so I chose this olive oil. And then probably not until after Halloween I'm going to try my hand at some fudge, so you need sweetened condensed milk. Now the prices for this stuff were pretty reasonable today. This was $2.32, 2, and $2.23. I always go with Nestle's. I don't think there was a great value version. If there wasn't much difference in price. Like I said, I wouldn't buy any other pumpkin mix but Libby's. And the sweetened condensed milk, there was a name brand. I just went with great value because, like I said, $2.23 sounded good to me. So a lot, I couldn't believe in the freezer section, great value is matching the prices of pizzas. So pizzas are finally coming down. So before, you couldn't get a Tombstone around here for less than $9.98. And now once Great Value brought out their own pepperoni and supreme pizzas, Tombstone pizzas went down to $4.68. It's just shocking. There's Great Value pizzas. I don't know, I guess there's always been Great Value shredded potatoes or french fries, but I just noticed as we were going up and down the freezer that there was more and more Great Value products sitting beside the name brand. So yeah, that's a really strong line of products, and sometimes we don't see a difference at all, and sometimes eating something that's Great Value brand is actually better. So we did find Halloween candy. So this bag right here was $5.96 for 95 pieces. If, in fact, we, of course, wouldn't give this whole bag to trick-or-treaters, but this likely would go all to work. I just thought this looked like something that kids would like. It's got bubble gum. It's certainly what I would like if I was, one child looks about 6 and the other one looks about 9. Certainly what I would love. That and a full-size Snickers. We only got that once as kids when I was trick-or-treating, and that was a banner night. And we got some M&Ms, a fun size, and these are $3.96. So if you're into buying candy at this time of year, and sometimes you go like in the candy aisle of Walmart and you pick up a bag of their Reese's peanut butter cups, or you pick up a bag of their Snickers, don't do it. Move on over to the Halloween candy, because the Halloween candy is actually cheaper than buying candy bars or M&Ms in the candy section, the regular candy section. We noticed that time and again. The Snickers candy bars were $5.96. Same size bag that was made for Halloween, $3.96. So, gotta shop around and get some better prices for candy at this time of year for sure. Then these were both, I want to say they were $2 either $2.20 or $2.30. This is an old brand, I believe. But anyways, we've been thinking about trying these, and so we went ahead and did it because they were the cheapest ones there, and the guy was just loading them on the shelves. So we've got some buns for some meatball sub and bratwurst, and then some buns for hamburger. And so we're going to be having those types of picnic meals at the end of the month here to celebrate, I guess, the end of summer. As far as summer activities for us, when September starts, fall activities begin around here. So then we got these lids, and when I do show you my refrigerator tour, and I don't know why they're different colors, maybe one's old stock, one's new, but the little glass jars are little ball jars that we portion out our yogurt in, and then we buy these BPA-free regular mouth canning jar lids. These lids, to whatever you would want to use them for. We happen to use them for yogurt, and I have used them for jam. The first set that we purchased 20 years ago is still intact with no cracks, and we've actually had it in the freezer, refrigerator. It's had jam, it's had yogurt, it's had everything in it. So yeah, but we bought new jars, so now we need some additional lids. Those usually run under $3, and you get 8. And then school supplies, we did go in to get a few school supplies for dropping off at a local bank, and they pick it up and then bring it to the school. School is starting here just after Labor Day. Some of the other schools may have started before, but the school in our local area, local to us, is starting after Labor Day. And so we still got until the end of this month to get the school supplies, more of them there, and we noticed that a lot of the school supplies right now are on clearance. It's buy one package of pencils, get one free. This dry erase board for us, so I can put the menu up again, was under $4. I think it was $3.58. We noticed lots of different deals on notebooks that were regular 1 something down to 20 cents, 60 cents. So we got as much as we could, and then tomorrow I'm going to be taking them and dropping them off at the bank so that they can get them over to the schools for those that don't have the school supplies this year. So, or the teachers, and that they often need some extras and stuff for the classroom. So that worked out great. We were able to get more than we usually get in other years. So that's my little haul for one of the last days of August. Okay, today's produce pickup was a stop at 2 local farm stands. The first one, we bought some Roma tomatoes instead of getting them from a local farmer, and they were considerably cheaper. So I have just a few more towards that homemade tomato soup that I am going to make and share on YouTube. I've got a slicing tomato, and I got a green pepper from them, and 6 ears of sweet corn. And then we moved on to our favorite produce guy in Baraboo, Wisconsin at Mark's Market, and I got 2 cucumbers. They were 2 for, I think it was $1.50. Some nice young green beans instead of those great big ones that have been on the bushes too long or on the vine too long. So I don't remember what those cost. All total, if you with the 2 cucumbers all these green beans, all these new potatoes, the two large zucchini, and the two squash was $13. So I thought that was pretty good. And then just a heads up for anybody that lives in the Midwest or any part of, like, I would guess, Wisconsin, down where we are in the western part of Wisconsin, southwestern, the season for growing is basically over. I guess he said and he goes all over Wisconsin and Illinois for produce, and then sells it at a local stand. He said cucumber season is over, green bean season is almost over, fruit like peaches and blueberries is almost over, tomatoes pretty much having a banner year, I know, in these parts, and probably 50 miles north of us, sunflowers are sunflower fields and people growing sunflowers, that's doing really well, and oftentimes that's something that people come in and pay, like we would go in and we donate money to stand in a sunflower seed or a sunflower field to take pictures because we love it so much. So yeah, people like involved in sunflowers, I think, are going to have a banner year, and maybe the sunflower seed for birds won't be so expensive. The corn, that's probably in the middle to late stage. Zucchini is pretty much done, and this particular stand, which is usually up and not even sold out yet till the first part of November, is planning on ending their sales towards the end of September. Both pumpkin, squash, and all that, because the season is so hot, the season has been such an unusual season that most of these things didn't produce to the length of season that they were supposed to, so their season got cut short, and he thinks pumpkins are going to show up, and then they're going to be there, and then the next day or the next week they're going to be gone. So probably a shortage in these parts anyways, and possibly in Illinois, for pumpkins and squash and, that whole little pumpkin spice season. I'm sure the coffee will still be pouring, but yeah, so we're going to get a start on it. We've got our start on our acorn squash, which we usually like to do down 6 to 8 packages of that for the winter, so I've got a start. In a couple of weeks, I'll be sharing some pumpkins, I'm sure, and some other things that he said would be there for fall. So, yeah, our little farm stand one, it was 6 ears of corn for $4, which is pretty high. But I'm going to be putting that up, freezing that. These tomatoes were like $1.99, or I think they were $1.99 a pound. He's got lots for canning there right now. So. And the slicer tomato was higher than what I would get from the local farmer we buy from. That was $1.69 a pound. So, and the pepper was $1 each. So that's my little haul for Sunday afternoon. And here's another delicious produce haul picked up on Thursday night. So we've got some Swiss chard. The last Swiss chard that we had, we actually only got 2 meals out of. It's just like spinach, when you cook it, it cooks down a lot. But we'll enjoy this. More carrots. We still have some carrots from last time, so this will do us for another couple of weeks. Some garlic. Some green beans. I'm going to be processing these green beans after we eat a side each with our next big meal. And then we've got some summer squash. That's just one meal with eggs and potatoes. We've got a sweet pepper and some Roma tomatoes. I was going to get a lot more Roma tomatoes this time, but I set my budget at $18, and $18 is what I have here. So I think the chard was, I don't know if they measured that, it was just one big bunch of chard, and I said $5.99 last time, it's actually $4.99, and the carrots were $3.99, the green beans were $3.99 this time, the summer squash 75 cents, the Roma tomatoes, it was a 2-pound bag, it is $2.99, the sweet pepper, I think it was $1.75, and the garlic was $2. So things fluctuate as the season moves on. Some things go up, some things go down, depending on how much there is. The farmer that we go to she serves a lot of people. She also has CSA members. She also supplies food pantries. So we're happy, and we feel grateful that we got this little produce haul this week. It'll last us a few days. And so that's it for the 23rd of August. Okay, in one of my last videos I said I had approximately 3 pounds of ground beef left, so I've gone ahead and defrosted that 3 pounds of ground beef, and tonight my husband's having 2 really good sized hamburgers. Then I'm making up some meatballs, so since I don't eat red meat and he eats 3 meatballs per spaghetti meal, then he'll have 3 meatballs for a spaghetti meal, and he'll have 6 left over to either make into a meatball sub or we'll have more spaghetti for him. And then I've got some ground beef that's browning up, and that's, I think that's probably just a little less than a pound. Half of that is going to go to Sloppy Joe's, which will make, give or take, 4 good-sized Sloppy Joe's for him, since he eats 2 per meal, probably his lunch meal on a Saturday and his lunch meal on a Sunday. And then the other half of this browning ground beef is going to be used in a casserole. So depending on how big a servings he gets out of the casserole, again, it could be where he would have a lunch of casserole for Saturday and a lunch of casserole for Sunday. In the casserole, I just do the ground beef and some tomato paste or tomato sauce, vegetables, noodles, salt and pepper, onion. So it's just a simple, basic casserole that I grew up with. So yeah, 3 pounds of hamburger, and we're getting a casserole, we're getting some Sloppy Joes, we're getting a few spaghetti and meatball or meatball submarine meal, and a good hamburger meal tonight with some house fries and mozzarella sticks.